conversation, stop it. Because until we start dealing with some reality, as you were saying the past week, you know, we'll be spinning wheels. Now, when you want to deal with facts, let's get with the facts. Because that's what mostly our people are missing, facts, whether culturally, by law, or historical. And we already know in the areas they've been tampered with. However, if you keep digging, you start getting down to the aggregate.
The other thing that they like to talk about is the idea that the United States is a corporation, right?
Yes. Well, it is. That's true. The United States is a corporation.
Right.
And if you roll all of that back, you'll see exactly the connection between United States being a corporation and the Federal Reserve not being federal at all and being a private organization. And sure, you can pull back all of that, you know, and see how corrupt our government is. Yes, right. That's true. So.
And everybody knows that, but that kind of spoils the game that they've been playing on our people. You see the point? Because everybody around the world knows that the United States is a corporation, not the land. And our people keep calling the United States Corporation Company the country, which gives them the sovereign right, because you're the heir. Whatever you say, you've just assigned them. Then they call them Americans and they call the country America, which you just assigned them to the sovereign. Which means these people don't even know geography. America's not a country, it's two continents. They're incompetent and don't understand that when they say those things, in law, it's what you said. What you mean is irrelevant. What you said is what it is. And this is what makes it dangerous for our people to get this information and not be given law. Because their arguments will be based in emotion, totally correct emotionally, totally correct symptomatic, but in law, legally dead.
Bashar, and he also knows that North America is known as Al-Maghreb Al-Aqsa.
Of course, I know that. North America was known as Al-Maghreb Al-Aqsa, and it reported to the Sultan of Morocco.
The Constitution is their sanction to do business at Morocco. There's that business flag of amity and commerce. Now you understand why you have that Moorish flag, and then you have the stars and stripes. It's a banner. It's not the national flag. This is the national flag. It's your history. You're standing on your own land, trying to go to Africa, and you're standing on Africa.
The first, colonials and the governors of Morocco, because they communicated, because on paper it was part of Greater Morocco. That's known.
That's known.
The first nation to recognize my country was Morocco. In signing the treaty.
How come you ain't getting this in school? Because they don't want you to know that you're standing on Morocco, that the land is Morocco. The occupational government is the United States, distinguished from the land. It's a foreign religious corporation belonging to the Jesuits. You're under occupation. And you're referred to as the Great Masonic Secret.
Well, it is. That's true. The United States is a corporation.
Right.
And if you roll all of that back, you'll see exactly the connection between United States being a corporation and the Federal Reserve not being federal at all and being a private organization. And sure, you can pull back all of that, and see how corrupt our government is. Yes, right. That's true.
Because they don't study law. See the problem? And so all these things which the Europeans have been using to take advantage of our people because they don't study and it doesn't fit their beliefs. And here we go.
Morocco was the first nation to recognize American independence.
And this is where people get trapped. Now I'm going to ask you, little sister, Princess. You ever heard the name or the word America, Americans? Are you familiar with it? You hear it a lot, don't you? Now we're going to run through a test. I'm going to show you something. This is a real key that you can use in law, etc. Whenever somebody's trying to trap you. Look how subtle it is. What do you know about that word, that name? You can talk a little louder, honey, because right now you're the teacher.
I know that people that live in America are Americans.
Hmm?
I know that people that live in America are Americans.
All right, where's America? Geographically located. All right, let's look at this. You see here, Falkland Islands, huh?
Yes.
You see the tip of Argentina, Chile, huh?
Yes.
It's Argentina, Chile, right?
Yes.
You see up here, Alaska,
Yes.
huh? You see up here, part of Greenland up here, just up here, just below Greenland,
Yes.
or next to it, huh?
Yes.
Latitudinally, coming down here. You see these islands here?
Yes.
You see down here one of our old sacred places, Easter Island?
Yes.
That's America. Central, north, south. Tell me who's the American president?
George Bush.
Oh, he's the president of Brazil? Because that's the United States. You know that's the United States of America, don't you? Because it is. You know El Salvador is the United States of America. Did you know that?
No.
Mexico is the United States of America. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
That's because they cheated you in school. They did a deliberate dumb down so that you wouldn't understand that United States is a generic term. That's just like me saying woman or girl. So if I say woman or girl, am I addressing anyone specifically? You can answer, but you don't have to, do you? But if you assume that you're the only woman in here, you'll say that loosely, would never even give it a second thought, wouldn't you? Then all they need to do is create a fraudulent jurisdiction that's assumed and you don't challenge it, then they take you in it, and they have no authority whatsoever. There's no such thing as the American president. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as the American flag. It doesn't exist. It's because they don't study law. See the problem? You know, and so all these things which the Europeans have been using to take advantage of our people because they don't study and it doesn't fit their beliefs. And here we go. 7 continents, name them. No, don't look at the ceiling. 7 continents.
No.
China is a nation.
That's the last thing that you want to do. You lose all credibility when you stand up and just say stupid shit.
No.
China is a nation.
Antarctica.
No, stop. Let them name. This is a demonstration. Pay close attention to this because this is what I'm telling you. This is what I need you honestly to really get. What you're demonstrating is what I'm trying to give you in the conversation past week and today. And trusting that you'll get what I'm saying to you. All law is specific. As soon as you're outside the law, they can seize you. Because ignorance of the law is no excuse. And the law begins with you. Islam. I, self, law, and master. And if you don't know yourself, you can't know law. Let's not get emotional with this. We're only here to try to bring the law back to the people. But if you don't absorb it, don't worry, we're going to try to make sure you have it. But please do never, ever get defensive when we challenge what you say. It's only an opportunity to teach. 7 continents, 2 of the 7 continents are America. As a matter of fact, America is the only of the continents that come from the northern hemisphere of the universe, across the celestial equator, and even into the southern hemisphere of the universe. And it has multiple jurisdictions, and it has a isthmus and a multiplicity of islands, and all of them are America. Now, when you, under Roman occupied information or misinformation, think that America's a country, already you're under the sorcery. And don't even know fundamental geography. Understand that's a training. They have jurisdiction over your person. So if you don't understand that, you can't be talking about some possessions that you secured in this territory when you don't even know the geography. particularly, you don't even know, therefore, the political jurisdiction. Therefore, you cannot call the law or any treaties on the planet to your defense of your person and your property. Because you transact business in another man's name, don't talk about estates and don't talk about property, because you don't even own your own body. If you don't understand that, get that together real quick. There is a such thing as American presidents and American flags that come from here on up and all across all these islands. So when somebody comes before you and starts talking law and starts talking like he has jurisdiction over matter, the first thing is what you're supposed to ask him, oh, I have no problem. Where's your nationality card? That's for one. Then your certificate, delegation of authority order, that proves the jurisdiction of whichever America you're talking about and whatever constitutional government you are aligned with. Then we can start talking the subject matter. Maybe, if I feel like it. Because you haven't even proven jurisdiction, you haven't even proven who you are. What happens is we keep on assuming people have jurisdiction because they can say, you know, sis, I'm the agent of the left-hand side of Bibelfetzer, Incorporated. Where's your $5 from that bill I sent you? And you start saying, oh man, I didn't get my second job, and you start talking the subject, you start talking the jurisdiction. You give the jurisdiction because you haven't recognized that I didn't even establish it. Means that no one has authority in civilization or in government unless verified by the sovereignty of the people. Governments are established to protect, do you understand? And preserve and secure the existing, pre-existing rights of people. That's called inalienable rights and is more relative to what birthrights are. Do you understand, sister? I know not immediately, but I started off with you being involved because you need to recognize, and that is us plurally, that when somebody starts throwing that American loose to you, and United States court, and the United States this, they can be talking about this, they can talk about this, and if they don't have any allegiance to the Constitution, they haven't set it up, they didn't prove anything to you. They can have you in some pirate court, and you don't even know it. And you agreed to it because you allowed the jurisdiction because you didn't challenge who they are in the first place. Then we'll start discussing other things. So to that point, and it's not that I'm dismissing anything that you're saying, I recognize it's a waste of time. I need for you to recognize it, and I'm doing my best to make you understand it, that a foundation must be there before we can discuss you securing a damn thing. But I need for you not to accept that from me. I need for you to understand the sequence that I presented to you lawfully, and for you to examine it and see your failure.
The United States is a corporation,
Right.
and if you roll all of that back, you'll see exactly the connection between United States being a corporation and the Federal Reserve not being federal at all, and being a private organization. And sure, you can pull back all of that, you know, and see how corrupt our government is. Yes,
Right.
that's true. So
Morocco was the first nation in the world to recognize the United States of America 237 years ago. In December 1777. So I've come here to say thank you.
How come you ain't getting this in school? Because they don't want you to know that you're standing on Morocco, that the land is Morocco, the occupational government is the United States. Distinguished from the land. It's a foreign religious corporation belonging to the Jesuits. You're under occupation. And you're referred to as the Great Masonic Secret.
The first nation to recognize my country was Morocco. In signing the treaty,
This treaty specifically deals with Moors. The question that may arise, how do we know that where the treaty says Moors, the so-called black people of the time is being referred to? The Moors were considered citizens or part of the we the people who ratified the Constitution. It says, quote, Thus, an act was passed in Massachusetts on the 6th of March, 1788, forbidding any Negro not a subject of the Empire of Morocco or a citizen of the United States from tarrying in the Commonwealth, unquote. For this would show that those who referred to as Negroes were actually Moors, and that they were on the same footing or status as citizens. Those who remembered that they were Moors used the Moroccan Treaty of 1787 to secure the rights on the same footing as the state citizens without otherwise being obligated members of their social equality. While those who were brainwashed into believing they were Negroes, descendants of Africans brought here by Europeans, were unprotected by the Moroccan Treaty, as well as the Articles of Confederation and the Constitution.
The Constitution is their obligation. That's not some instrument that, oh, you know, it's interesting if you all know something about it, and if you don't, oh, it's not important. Why do you think politicians don't teach Constitution to children in schools? Because that's the document that gives them the authority to do everything that they're doing. Without the Constitution, there is no government. Once you understand that, you understand where you need to be to protect your Moorish birthright. And the Moorish birthright is to protect the Constitution and to enforce the Constitution. The abuses that you've been getting is because that document has not been enforced. It has not been enforced because you ain't been in your proper person. Y'all been busy being colored people. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So concept of mind, get out of it. You're not Negro, black, and colored. And you got to be that, not that, officially. That's what nationalization process is for. That's why he did it. Do you understand? These have political ramifications. So it changes your political status in the society for the record. That's number one, because it's documented now. You see what I'm saying? So that gives you a standing at law across the world. Now, do you know what to do with that? That's the next issue. Do you know how to proceed with that? Those are the parts of the information that was suppressed by the subversives, COINTELPRO, etc., that was inverted into this movement with the FBI, CIA, etc., which is really the OSS, to subvert this movement. Having the people think it's a religious movement when actually it's a movement to bring people back into the constitutional fold of government and to enforce that constitution for the protection of all the peoples. But he knew that they could not be protected as Negro, black, and colored because that's a category of a caste system. It's not human. It is not human. Does not pertain to humanity. It is outside of the human family, therefore outside the law, therefore outlawed. So all of this thing has to be corrected, and it's not what you think it is. This is an economic, political, social dilemma that you're going to have to fix. And if you don't fix it, don't worry, everything that you work for will fail. Whether it's business, economics, your personal relationships, etc. Because Allah, and Allah is feminine, not masculine, is unpleased and is set in force for our destruction unless we fix it. And recognize how you've been miseducated, not just by Europeans, but by your own. These people know that you're not black. They don't doubt it. They know that you're not black. And they know that you're Moors.